You know how every single empire started falling, right?
How's
I
that?
know you know it.
Gender?
Yep. Every single look at Rome, Babylon, all of
Yeah.
them. They all their downfall started when it started becoming Sodom and Gomorrah. You know,
Well,
just
we're it's about that time.
Funny how.
Come here, though. Yeah, he's crazy, see? Who are you?
Well, we are recording. We'll just get right into it. But yeah, thanks for hopping on, man. Appreciate you.
Of course.
This should be fun.
I know. I was excited. I was like, all right. You know, talk to Ant, and he's like, yeah, dude, he's a cool dude. Do it. And I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, Ant's great for sure. And for people that that don't know, you need to follow Conservative Ant because he's
Go follow him.
he's
awesome.
Special. Yeah, he's great.
He really is. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He does a lot for his community.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, I just took the morning shift with my kids, so
nice. How's that going?
It's good, man. You know, we both work from home, which is great, but you know, we share a lot of responsibilities, the wife and I. So, you know, sometimes it gets a little crazy trying to work from home. We don't do any childcare or anything. So just trying to work and
saves a lot of money.
It does save money. That is true.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me how we do it, and I'm like, I mean, you're saving 40 grand a year. What do you mean?
No, seriously, my brother has 3 kids now, and
wow,
the child care expense just to send them to daycare is just astronomical. So you know, each kid is a full blown mortgage payment almost.
Dude, for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's getting any better. I know eventually we'll get to a point to where our government recognizes, listen, either everything on the planet has to go down in price, or you got to figure out something for childcare because it's
that, or it's insane, man.
Yeah.
My buddy's mom owns a bunch of childcare centers, and
oh wow,
you know, a majority of the people that go there are people who are on like government assistance and things like that. And so but even then it's still expensive. You know, it's like you know, they get the help, but if you make over a certain amount of money, you don't get any help. So
that's right. Yeah. It'd be, you know, obviously we're not smart enough to dabble into politics, but let's go ahead and just talk about that.
you know.
Let's just fucking break the internet. No, there's something to be said about kind of how our system is now, because we've tried to raise minimum wage and all. It just doesn't. It's not feasible because by the time we get to that point, already inflation has gone up, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5% every year. So it's like what you can't, unless you start right now today in 2025, $60 minimum wage an hour.
Well, I just saw a thing on that, and that was the number they gave, and I was like,
"Oh, was that right? I did hear that.
Like,
I was,
yeah. So it was something like the equivalent from like
1960 or 70 or something.
60s, yeah. Like the equivalent of minimum wage from then to today is like $60 an hour, and that's why
right.
they were allowed to purchase homes and cars.
That's right. Well, and you know, back then, I mean, you know, houses were $30,000. And interest rates, you know, a lot of people don't understand, but interest rates back then were like 20%. But their house
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like, I think my dad might have paid like 15% when he bought his first house. But you know, the house was 50 grand.
Yeah.
So even
15%
still.
on 50 grand, you know, it's not the same. It's 7% on 800,000 or a million, you know.
Well, and by the way, that 15%, for people that don't know finance out there, that's only if you don't pay 50 grand for the house. Like if you decide to loan that money, that's interest. But if you buy the house outright, it costs you 50 grand. You cannot buy a house anywhere on the planet for 50 grand. Maybe in Italy, and it's a small village that you're in. But aside from that,
they might pay you to go there. From what
that's right. Me and Ant were actually talking about that too. We're like, you know, because he's Italian. And I'm like, bro, that's the goal, man. That's the goal.
They're like, we'll pay you and give you a house, and all we want is for you to populate our villages again.
That's right.
You know,
just have more sex.
Japan's doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, it's strange that we have to get to this point, right? Because it's, you know, Americans, ironically, are the ones that profit and benefit rather from all these incentives that other countries are doing, which should tell you something. Like, as American, And even if you're in the government, like, you're like, why are these countries taking our citizens and making them come over here with these incentives? Well, A, because they're making a budget for it, but B is because a lot of these countries, people decades ago have moved to America for quote unquote a better life. But it kind of seems like it's going the opposite route, because a lot of
reversing
times,
itself.
yeah, a lot of times people don't want to leave, their home country. Maybe it's Italy or Europe or whatever, but they never come back. If they migrate to America, they usually stay in America because they know there's opportunity and things like that. But when you get 70 and 80, what are you trying to be, like a top influencer? Like, what? You're not really doing anything. At 80, you want to retire and sit and drink wine and hang out, right? Well, what better place to do that than outside the U.S.? And I think that's kind of where people's are starting.
Italy specifically.
Italy specifically. I talk so much about it. People are probably bored on this podcast only because I went there last year and I just fell in love.
I saw that one with your kid, right?
That's right.
And they're saying, "Oh, why would you bring your child?" Well, I have memories too. I want to remember bringing my kid to places. Come on.
People are so silly. Yeah, that's like, are you not going to bring your kid to Disney World at the age of 3? What, are they not going to remember it? Like, come on. What are you doing?
The pictures and the memories, and then you get to show them, like, hey, look at you when you were this age. And it's like the best feeling.
Oh yeah, it's so great. So, and you have kids of your own, right?
I do. I have a 14, 16-year-old.
Oh wow. Yeah, so you're way
actually they're downstairs. Well, the 16-year-old's downstairs. She starts school on Monday. So nice. So I took her out of her school and then put her into a charter school. And then my other daughter wanted to go to a high school that's, we have a high school pretty much across the street from us, but
nice.
She wanted to go there with her friends, and then she wanted to go to the charter school with her friends. So I was like, all right, that's fine.
That's awesome. And sorry, remind me where you're at again? What state?
We're down in California, San Diego.
That's right. Okay.
So out in Vista.
Yeah. I used to go to Corona a lot. My old company that I used to work for. So
out in the desert.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was fucking
that
hot.
place is
it's right on the border. It's pretty close. It's you don't think you're in California when you're down that south.
No, you don't.
But,
you really don't. You're like, what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And how do you like California with everything going on? Because I don't, I followed your page for a while, but in terms of like just in the last decade or so.
I was born and raised.
Were you?
I was born in Orange. I was actually born into a heroin addict, and I got lucky, man. My aunt and uncle adopted me, and so I was super blessed. Yeah, I was born addicted, so there's that. Kind of just. Yeah, it was one of those things to where, like, I found out when I was like 13, 14 that was the situation. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not them, so.
Wow.
Like, I had that mindset of it. It's like, okay, like, they didn't raise me, you did. You're my mom and dad.
Yeah.
But I was super blessed, man, and I love California. I really do. The Democrat policies are just torching everything, though. Prices of everything, like the gas prices. Gavin Newsom shutting down 2 of the refineries, the gas taxes. When they had that law pushed out, they changed the wording on that specific measure. Mm-hmm. And basically, if you voted yes, you were voting to not have the gas tax. And if you were voting no, you were voting for the gas tax. And so people who don't really follow up and read their ballots and stuff, they didn't understand the difference. So I had an overwhelmingly, majority for no. Because people thought they were voting against it. So I was just like, what? Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, I think something happened. Something happened similarly here in Florida with weed. The way they, I was reading something about it. I mean, I voted obviously for legalization, just because I believe every drug should be legal.
If someone wants to ruin their lives, let them.
Yeah, I mean, it's as long as it's. I mean, listen, cigarettes are legal, and that kills more people.
I'm on your side actually on that one. I'm like, hey, like,
crazy.
If you want to go do these things, like, if you want to go do drugs, that's fine.
Yeah,
do them in moderation, whatever. if there's moderation with everything, right? You eat too much, red meat, you eat too much salt, you drink too much water, you can die. Like
100%. 100%. Literally.
So if you do it in moderation, you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, tax it. If you want tax money, tax it.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
let the people who want.
That's like the cool thing with like that opportunity. I think with Florida, what it was trying to say was obviously they want to legalize, but how they worded it, similar to California, was misleading. There was like double negatives in there, or I don't know, something was going down. But unless you do your research, you don't really know. And it's interesting that we, from a political standpoint, usually only follow the big elections. And what people don't understand is no matter where you are in the country, local elections are more important.
Oh, 100%.
Because they're more frequent, but also it's the laws that you are fighting for on a daily basis. It's just the politics only highlight the big boys, right? Because they know that is how they get clicks, right? The abortions.
Well, that's why a lot of people right now are doing a big push on the AB 495 in California. So a lot of the big creators that I know, we're all completely against it.
And remind me what that is.
So what that one is it gives the ability for a non-relative to sign an affidavit and take possession of your child without your permission or knowledge. And all they need is a piece of paper, and they're trying to push it as, it's for immigrant families, so that if someone gets deported, someone can go get their kid. That's how they're masking it. But it's like a child predator's dream. It's like,
that's insane.
So if you know my kid's first and last name, you could sign an affidavit saying that you were someone in their lives and go get them from school and then just disappear. And it's like, no, that's not okay.
There's no way that's going to get passed. That's insane.
It's California.
They've passed.
It's California, things. So
They've passed.
I mean, well, that's about the worst thing they can pass, I think, in my mind. It's
the politics has always been interesting to me, especially when you look at like the big states, right? California, New York, Florida, Texas. It's like those are perfect contrasts to each other, right?
Oh,
California versus Texas, Florida versus New York. Like you can compare them and look at the state as a whole, and it's so fascinating. Again, if I'm a Democrat, I vote independent typically. I voted for Trump, and I voted Republican more recently. But I mainly lean on in the middle of a lot of topics. But it's interesting if I am a Democrat, and if I'm a Democratic politician, and I look at what's happening in California, look at what's happening in New York. Like, it's obvious that you're losing. Like, it just lie and pass laws temporarily that would satisfy more Republicans. Even out the playing field a little bit. Just lie.
It would make sense.
It would make political sense. Gain their trust a little bit by doing some shit that we like, Republicans. And then maybe in a decade you could switch to hardcore lefty again. But you got to get us back. Like, you're not doing anything to help the cause.
They're not trying. They're going like they're going like full
all in.
As far as they can left. Like, look how crazy we can actually be. And you're like, but we don't want that. We want stability. We want family morals. Like, we don't want this whole, like, we want to just let tens of millions of illegal immigrants in, and then we're going to use those for just redistricting purposes. Like, no, that's why you're losing. Like, just stop.
Well, and as a lot of people pointed out in this cycle, that, I mean, everyone says the argument is, well, this country was founded by immigrants. Well, no, it wasn't. Settlers, big difference. They came here when we didn't have the system in place, and there wasn't friggin' 330 million people in the country. But you can't keep everything open for everyone just to pop in. And
no, there has to be rules and regulations.
Yeah, and people are so disconnected. This is what's frustrating about usually talking politics with people, is you don't have to really know about politics to understand like the world as a whole. Every country on the planet that's actual civilization. But every country that's inhabited by a population usually requires some sort of immigration law. You can't just walk up to Italy and say, hey, I'm going to go and move here, buy a house, get a job. That's not how it works. You have to get documentation, you have to get a visa, you have to go through the process. So like the fact that us Americans are like, maybe we should like make the process a little strict and avoid it. People are like, no,
we can't do that. Sorry, guys.
Crazy.
No, that's that's dehumanizing.
That's way overboard. I mean, every other country in the world does it, but no, America, we need to be land of the free and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, this is where
they've taken that a little bit too far.
Yeah.
I see these creators and they're like, nobody's illegal. Humans are humans. And I'm just like, do you lock your door at night? Like,
humans are humans. That's the problem.
But like, do you lock your door at night? If you don't lock your door at night and you don't even have a door, you just let anybody into your house that wants to come in. Okay, you practice what you preach.
Yeah.
But until you do that, you're a hypocrite.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's the same. It's the same people that are on the front lines protesting about like slavery and discrimination, and all that. But these are also people that have iPhones that literally are you're paying to enslave people to make your phone for 50 cents an hour. Like it's the same thing. And I have an iPhone, which is why which is why I don't protest against things, because I don't want to be a hypocrite. Yeah. So it's this critical thinking that I think is lacking in the country, and a lot of that is social media. I feel like where it's getting saturated so much in terms of information, but also this is the big problem. I'm not a fan of social media when it comes to this. Is the way the algorithms reward you, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, doesn't matter, but it feeds you what you like.
Yes,
and trying to be politically correct, even if it's incorrect, it feeds you what you like. That's a problem.
Correct.
That's a problem.
Well, if you go to social media out in China, all their stuff is education based, and they don't have any girls dancing. They don't have, and granted, I'm not saying China's great or anything, by any means, but
they have flaws.
They definitely have flaws, but they're doing the right thing with social media, pushing like quantum mechanics and engineering and all
STEM.
This stuff, like these cool things that they're doing. Who was it that I think it was TikTok that had a STEM
it was
thing for a while. And that I was like, okay, that's pretty cool, and I would scroll on that page for a while.
But then Americans started using it, and China's like, no, we got to get rid of that for them. We don't want them to be smart.
I'm like, where'd it go? But there's that kid who made the fusion generator or whatever it is that makes diesel gas into oil.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you've seen that kid. Mm-hmm. Super impressive. I've been following him for a while. He disappeared for like a month and a half, and people were like, where'd he go? Like, it was scary. Yeah, it was scary, dude. Like, the guy who made a car that runs on water, he
that too
mysteriously disappeared. So everybody was worried about this kid, and now he's back. So within the last couple days, he's actually started posting again, and he rebuilt his entire thing. It's really cool. I'm like, so I follow that guy. I'm like, this is something that's worth following.
That's cool stuff. Yeah.
And then there's the other kid who he does all the 1920 stuff and rebuilds like Model Ts, and his entire house is full 1920s record players, and that's how he lives. And I'm like, dude, this is cool. It's authentic. Right. The kid loves it. Love it.
Yeah, and but that's where a lot of people are lacking when it comes to the creative juices, right? And unfortunately, our government. This is where like being an American is great, because you can eat fast food, and you could smoke cigarettes, and you could drink booze, and you could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can have 6 DUIs and still have a driver's license. Like, these are all things that
wild to me.
It's so crazy. So, but that's because we have this like thing in the back of our head that's like, we're American, we do what the fuck we want. And I think we've had enough. Like, we've been around for 300 years, right? Close to the empire is going to fall eventually if we don't teeter into a different direction.
You know how every single empire started falling, right?
How's
I
that?
know you know it.
Gender?
Yep. Every single look at Rome, Babylon, all of
Yeah.
them. They all their downfall started when it started becoming Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
just
we're it's about that time. It's about that time. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely scary, especially being, that's why I love your handle, which is why I wanted to reach out to you. Just being a girl dad, obviously and I'm sure yours, my perceptions change a lot for sure.
Oh yeah.
And I've always known that men are the worst, which we are. I mean, we cause.
We're men ourselves, so we know exactly what we're capable of, and that's why I'm like, no, like I have 2 little girls, they're my princesses, love them to death, and I just want to protect them. That's my biggest thing is I want to protect them. I want to protect my brother's kids, whoever's kids, they need protection because they are first and foremost our future, and they're the most precious thing that we have in this country.
Yeah. Well, and I think, again, this is where we always like to jump the gun with stuff, with everything, with vaccines and with protocols and, different, gender, this type of stuff. And maybe we're wrong, but you can't just flip a switch and change everything and tell people, hey, we've been doing it this way ever since humans have been humans, but let's go ahead and change things up without any studies or repercussions at all. Let's just start having people. This is where the issue
lies.
Because it's if there was studies behind it for decades, and we've really spent time and energy and money and resources identifying what this is, that why is this happening all of a sudden? Is it our food? Is it what's in our water? Like, is it because it's not happening everywhere else in the world? So it's something here in America. Maybe it's processed foods, and maybe we are wrong. Maybe like there's a lot of studies where microplastics as a whole have been shown not just in our water, but in our food and our literally everything you do on a daily basis. Infants, when they come out of the
have microplastics inside them.
So maybe that's disrupting hormones, and maybe it is transitioning people. It's possible. However,
I'm not to say that we don't have the studies though.
That's right. That's the point.
That's the
is
problem.
Like you have to look at this and say, listen, if it is true, let's let it ride for a couple decades. Let's really study these individuals that quote
empirical
unquote
data.
Yeah, let's get some data, some raw stuff here. And then if this is the case, then maybe in a couple decades we'll change the laws and we'll make some things. But until then, we're all just human. Let's keep it the way it's been and let's study these folks. But we do this with everything. We just jump the gun with fads and trends and, veganism and carnivorism, like all this stuff. We always jump the gun with stuff without, really studying it for decades. It's fascinating.
And it's they jump so heavily into pushing it on young kids right away, and they add it into their materials with no empirical data.
Mm-hmm.
And so they go, oh, okay, well, this is what it is. Oh, what are your pronouns? Like schools are now asking kids what their pronouns are. That doesn't matter. That's not part of education. Leave that out.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole thing is kind of just, it's bothersome almost because they're trying to tell kids, oh, well, a woman isn't just a female. And it's, well, yes, a woman is an adult female. That is the only answer there is, period. XXXY. It's plain and simple. That's the empirical data that we have to this point. Granted, there are XXY, YYX, which are anomalies. It doesn't happen very often, and we understand that yes, there are anomalies. That doesn't mean, that should be the rule.
Right, majority rules typically.
Yes, and I think the difference between the right and the left is that the right will constantly have majority rules, like this is the exception is not the rule, and the left is the exception is the rule. And so that's where I think a lot of problems come up.
That's a really interesting way of looking at it. I don't think I've ever looked at it like that. Yeah, that is true. And why is that, you think it's because like the left is so confident that immigrants will eventually get to a point to where they'll get citizenship and vote for the left, and they want to gain that? Or
I think that a lot of conservatives are more so, I want to protect my family, my friends, the people I care about in my immediate vicinity, right?
Smart,
and that's who I hold dearest. The left, I think, is we need to protect everybody else. And so that's why they're so willing to throw their families away that don't think the same way as them and things of that nature.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably pretty accurate. Yeah. And, you know, it's changed so much over the course of these last decades, where I think because of social media and because you're seeing all this type of stuff, there is a little bit more aggression for one side or the other, which I think it's unfortunate. But we're at the point of no return, though, just because when you see something that pisses you off, especially as like a girl dad, and you see these guys going to Disney World and they're going to the women's bathroom, and you're like, ugh, I'm going to Disney next week. Like, I don't want to think about this.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm going to do something bad if that happens. You know, that's our immediate reaction is you know, my immediate reaction, if I see a dude walk into a bathroom that my daughter's in, I'm following him in and dragging him out. I don't care.
But if you do that,
I go to jail.
Which is,
so be it.
It's crazy. Yeah, you go to jail. But that again is like the first reaction. If you ask the cops that arrested you doing that, they would say, "Hey man, you did the right thing." Like every single person, except for if it's public. Like you cannot make a video. Every sane person.
Every sane person, yeah. Every sane person's gonna be like, "Hey man, good job." They'll probably start a GoFundMe for you and bail you out. You know, so you're like, "All right, well, I'm better for it now, so whatever."
Yeah. Yeah, but it's this weird thing that we're very tribal. We're very tribal, and it's hard to get out of it. And I think it's starting to kind of like teeter into maybe more middle, which is exciting. Like you look at Bill Maher, which I think is fascinating.
I never really agreed with him, and lately I've been like, "Dang, dude, all right."
That kind of makes sense.
I'm like, okay, I understand.
And this is okay. Like this is what's so great about America, which is why it's so weird when people argue about politics, because I'm like, are you telling me, like I was even having this comment with Ant where I was like, do you like everything about Trump? If you say yes, you got a problem. Like you're blinded.
Yeah.
Because he has flaws, just like Biden, just like Obama, just like every single human on the planet. We all have flaws. And
do I like everything about my brother? No. Like, like, come on, dude. Like, be for real right now. Like, there's things I dislike about. Like, I love my brother to death. I look up to him. He's a great guy, great dad. Does he like everything about me? Absolutely not. Right. And it goes vice versa. And I think that we can differentiate that. We can agree to disagree on things.
Yeah.
But if you disagree on one single issue with someone on the left, it's I hate you, I hope you die. I hope your daughters get essayed. And I can't tell you the amount of comments that I get on my page telling me, "Oh, I hope your daughters get essayed. Oh, I hope your daughters get murdered and this and that." And I'm just like, how can you say that?
It's crazy.
To someone about their kids? Like, it's just so vile, so evil. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I would never wish harm upon anybody's child whatsoever. Like, I don't even wish harm on other people, with exception to pedophiles. They should go directly into a wood chipper, but that's just, those are my thoughts. Like, that's what I truly believe. If we put dogs down for biting kids, right?
That's a good point.
Like,
it's a good point.
Like, they don't deserve to breathe air anymore. I'm sorry, but I'm not actually. But, you know what I mean? I'm like, they put dogs down for less, and it's like, come on, like there has to be a drastic change. I think it was Anna Paulina over in Florida who suggested the death penalty for people who essay kids, and I'm like, 100%.
I love it.
I'm for it. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. And if there's anybody that would sign off on that, it's DeSantis. So
Ron definitely.
He'd be like,
I like
sure.
Ron.
Yeah,
I wish we had a Ron out here in California.
Yeah, man. Well, who knows? I mean, eventually maybe the state will buck up a little bit and start.
Maybe Spencer Pratt's going to run.
Yeah, how about that?
Even though he's left leaning, I mean, I like the guy. He's standing up for what's right.
Yeah.
That whole situation. I've been following that, and I absolutely love it. I love what he's doing. It's like, okay, cool. Like, this guy's awesome.
Well, a lot of people don't know. I mean, Trump was typically mostly Democrat, decades ago. So, and then you can make that switch. So, same thing with Tulsi Gabbard and all these studs that are on the administration, where it's like when I voted,
RFK and all them.
RFK, yeah. I mean, I voted for the party, and I think a lot of people did. And again, you could look at where the economy is now, and has eggs gotten cheaper? No. Has gas gotten cheaper? Maybe a little bit, but
eggs are way cheaper here.
Are they really? Well,
significantly cheaper.
You have a lot of margin to work with because your eggs. Well,
I buy eggs at Costco, so I buy 60 eggs at a time. We eat a lot of eggs in my house.
Sure.
So back during when they were like at high prices, it was like $30 for 60. Now it's like 13.
So crazy. That's so crazy.
It's a $17 disparity between. So I'm like, all right, well.
So that's positive. And I shop at Sprouts and Whole Foods, so I always do like organic,
it's a lot more expensive than
bullshit. So either way, it's more expensive. But like they went down like I think $2 a carton, which is still good.
So you're paying what, like $8, $9 still?
Close to $9, yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, that's like I could taste the difference for sure. I'm just
100%.
Like I even
I just got a dozen from my mom's house because we have chickens.
Oh, dude, that would be the dream.
So we have like 18 chickens or something like that. And
wow.
So my mom's like, "You want to take some eggs home?" I'm like, "I just bought some, but yes, because they're way better, and the yolks are, probably twice the size."
The size of the egg,
yeah. And I'm just like, I'm like, these are so much better.
That's crazy. But you have to, with fresh eggs, do you know if you have to, like, is there a certain amount of time that you have to crack them? And
no, if you don't wash them, they'll be, I think, shelf stable for like 3 to 6 months, something like that.
Oh, really? So still pretty long.
Yeah, if you just take them out and you leave them on your counter, you don't even have to refrigerate.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, they stay around for a while.
Yeah, that's how it is with other countries. They don't even refrigerate their eggs, but we have to because we spray it full of shit.
Well, they wash all the shells, which washes that protective membrane off. Once you do that, then you have to refrigerate,
which is crazy. Again, we look at what other countries are doing, and they're like 90% of the world, they don't wash their. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and clean it off. It's not better, but
it's the FDA, and they make all these regulations, and they go. I'm glad that they're getting rid of red food dye, which has been proven to change the mood of kids. That's like a huge thing, like the chips and sodas and everything else. It's
Well, that's a great move. I'm really excited about that, especially. I mean, our kid. I don't never say never, but we've, I think, done a really good job just in 2 years of her not having juices, her not having anything. Like when we do snacks, it's the ones that are like pretty much air.
Yeah,
it's like
I like those ones. Those are good.
They're actually really good. They're better than chips.
They're really. Is it the ones and they're just airy? You're like, oh, these are kind of nice.
These are pretty light. Yeah, exactly. So we've really made a point to where like the less we could put in her face that's bad for her at this age, it's going to be better for her down the road because food is good. Like cheesecake's good. Cheez-Its are great. Like, but the problem is, just like everything else, like if you give someone heroin, they're going to like it.
Yeah.
So the trick is stay away from heroin. That's the trick to not being hooked on heroin.
That's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal. Just don't do it. All right? Don't give it to them. They won't be better.
Because it's good.
I'm allergic to mangoes. So I'm allergic to mangoes. And everybody goes, oh my gosh. They're like, yeah, same reaction.
Suck.
I'm like, well, I don't know because I'm allergic. So I don't miss it. Like it's
right, that's true. Yeah.
Whatever. Like I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
like so.
But
it's the same thing.
You should try it and have an EpiPen close by just to know what you are missing.
I got an EpiPen like 3 feet away from me right now.
Really, just in case. Oh. Just in case you're like allergic to the computer. Oh, I gotta do the EpiPen.
Just stab it in my.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Nice podcast.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things, especially in the health industry, where I'm really excited about. So I think like the future looks good. It's just
getting
also
better.
it's getting better.
It's healing.
Yeah, it is healing. It's just, dude, it is frustrating. Like when you go to these other countries and when you realize that it is possible for Kellogg's and to Post and all these guys, when they make a healthier version already and they sell it to everyone else except Americans, it almost makes you think, hold on, if it's the FDA, if it's our government, something is going down where someone's not doing their job, someone's not checking boxes, because not enough people are questioning what we're doing, because a lot of the things that go into our food end up affecting everything. You know, same thing with Red 40, right? Where it's like it affects mood and then cognitive function and development and hormones. I mean, what we're pumping into our meat, the chickens, the steak, everything we're doing to these cows, it's literally developing females faster.
Well, both my daughters, and speaking of that, both started their period at 9.
That's crazy.
9 years old. Yeah. And back then, you know, I didn't know any better.
Sure.
You know, I was like, you know, I was putting food on the table, you know, but both of them just, and it was like, I remember the first one, I was like, oh shit, you know, I was a single dad at the time. You know, I've been raising my kids since 5 and 7.
Wow.
And, you know, my ex-wife, she lives up in Utah, and, you know, I live down here, and you know, I called my sister, and it was like 6:30 in the morning. So I'm in the shower, and my daughter runs, and she's like, Dad. I'm like, what? I'm like, give me a minute. So I get out of the shower, and she tells me what happens. I'm like, oh, I'm not prepared for this. And so I call my sister at like 6:30 in the morning, which is a no-no. My sister does not like talking to people before like at least 9 o'clock and 1 cup of coffee.
Sure.
So I go, she doesn't answer, so I just go 911 and I send that to her, and then she called me back within 30 seconds, and she's like, what's going on? It happened. She's like, all right, go to the store, get this, bring her to my house. I'm like, done. Be there in 5 minutes.
Thank you. Oh man, to be kudos to you, man, being a single dad raising your 2 girls.
That was a scary time. And then thankfully my other daughter was visiting her mom when she started her, so I was like, I got a reprieve on that one. I was like,
thank goodness. I don't know if I can't handle another one. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of scary, man. And you know, then there some fascinating studies about like the rise of social media, and then it correlates with the increase of suicide rates, especially with younger women. Girls.
Well, if they post a picture, they don't get views or likes, and then they're like, oh well, people don't like me, and they don't understand that there's an algorithm pushing this stuff out.
Yeah,
which is truly, you know, we're all a slave to the algorithm to get views and whatnot. You know, I'm no stranger to it, but I don't care if I get views or not. I post stuff to post, right? But I do see that in other people. They're like, oh, I'm not getting any views, and I'm like, it's the algorithm. Like, don't let it put you down.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. And I always tell people, I mean, even if 100 people view your video, that's 100 people, dude. That's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
It's a lot of people. You got an impact on people. And then how are you dealing with social media with, if you don't mind me asking, with your kids? I mean, is it like, do you have these conversations with them? Are you prepping them? Or okay.
Oh yeah, they have Instagrams. Their names are completely just weird names, you know, and they do not post on it. I check their messages.
Nice.
You know, things like that. They literally have it just to like scroll on videos, and they'll send me funny little videos. And my younger daughter, she sends me ones all the time where it's what was the last one she sent me? One that was a dad and daughter doing something, and it was just pretty funny. And so she's always sending me stuff like that. And you know, but they don't post, you know, you know, they're not big on doing that. My older daughter, she's like, I want to start like a cooking YouTube. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like,
that's cool.
that'd be cool.
Make some money, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that'd be awesome. So
that's great.
And I do it just for the game. I enjoy, pissing people off, and it's like half the stuff I post is just making fun of people, which is, people that are generally, have a mental illness, thinking they're a girl and they're really a guy or something like that. And then I do post serious posts that I truly care about.
Yeah.
Which usually don't get many views, and it's because people are it's because people are expecting something more funny, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. Like I'll post all of it just because that's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah. No, it's hilarious, man. Yeah, you have some great videos. I love it. It's good.
I appreciate that, man. As a community, my community is awesome. Like, everybody in my neighborhood's amazing. We all hang out with each other and do things together, and
that's great.
It's like the greatest it's like one of those neighborhoods that you see in Pleasantville,
Oh, nice.
If you remember that movie,
Sure.
And it's just all the neighbors are all, hey, how's it going? And like everybody gets along, and whatnot. It's pretty awesome.
That's a rarity, man. It's a rare spot. No wonder you don't want to leave. That sounds awesome.
It's one of the driving factors and huge benefits of living where I live right now currently, and I love it. So
that's great. Well, I'm going to leave all your social and everything below, but where can people find you for people just listening?
The Girl Dad Official is basically on all platforms. So I do have a small YouTube. I haven't really been posting there much, but Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Nice. So. You got to get on YouTube, man.
I know. That's what people keep saying.
Yeah, dude. And are you doing anything like side hustles or anything that aside?
I had a clothing store. I shut it down because we didn't get many sales on it, and it just wasn't worth it wasn't paying for itself. So we closed that down. But I have my job where I do marketing for tax consultants, basically. So
nice. That was my background, marketing. Still is.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I was at Monster. I was at Monster Energy for a little over a decade. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a great time. I didn't necessarily believe in the product too much, so it kind of worked out well.
I don't drink it. I like all the other stuff they do with the extreme sports and stuff like that. That's cool. But
you are welcome.
I appreciate it, man.
but yeah, now like just working, for myself, I'm lucky enough to where I've been doing that for 5 years now. And and I just started my own apparel brand a couple months ago. It's actually a dad apparel brand.
I saw that on your page. I might have to pick some stuff up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let me know. I'll hook you up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been great because I think just in the last 2 years, it started. Kind of the vision was when we were going through the process of trying to get pregnant, because we went through IUI and IVF and all this shit. And once
congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, she came out. She came out great.
Awesome.
She better have. She was like $250,000. She better be fucking perfect.
Yeah, and then you have me out here. I just accident. Sorry.
Yeah, you're popping Welcome out things left and right. Damn. Yeah. But yeah, when we were doing this whole process, and I never really wanted kids the way I would want kids now. It was like this weird thing. I don't know if you could relate. I know you joke about it being an accident, but did you ever want kids at all, or was it something that you didn't want to? Yeah, eventually, right?
Oh no, eventually I wanted kids. I was not ready when when my baby came out, and
who is right?
At the time I was making like $10 an hour, living as a roommate, and like just life was not. I was not ready for that, and people always go, well, like, what'd you do? And this is my biggest thing with people who are like, oh, well, she doesn't make enough money, that's why it's okay for her to get an abortion, right? I'm like, well, no. I'm like, I had a roommate. I had $200 to my name, and I was making $10 an hour.
Right.
I'm like, my baby came, and a flip switches in your head.
Yeah.
It's like a light switch. It just goes boop, and your entire perspective on everything changes immediately,
So true.
almost immediately.
So true. Yeah, because that's exactly what happened with me. It was like I was like, I was on the fence about it. And we had her when I was 38, 37, 38. Yeah. So I was older, and we did that, strategically. We wanted to wait to get married and wait to start trying. And then once we did, we're like, oh shit, we can't get pregnant. So then it was 3 years of this IUI and IVF, which obviously is financially draining, physically draining for the woman.
She has to get shots all the time, and
fucking like 3 times a week. It was insane. And of course, there's, I don't even know, maybe 5 or 6 negative pregnancy tests as we were. So you're spending thousands of dollars. Insurance doesn't cover it. You're spending thousands of dollars a month, and then you end up getting this no on
negative.
The test.
Yeah,
and you're like,
too.
Yeah, because we, how many times did we have the conversation where it's like, when should we like,
give up? Or,
should we think about adoption? Should we like surrogacy? Like what can we do? And then eventually we just kept trying. And finally, when it happened, it was like, that's when I think the struggle, that's what I needed personally. My wife has always wanted kids, but like, that's what I needed. I needed to know that it was difficult and that not everyone can have kids. So now that we do have one, there's nothing more important than this thing. That's it.
Dude, that's freaking amazing.
It's the kick in the ass I needed. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah,
I love that for you.
Thanks, dude.
You fought a tireless battle for 3 years.
Yeah.
And didn't give up. It shows your perseverance.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
and your wife.
And the wife for sure. Yeah, and we're obviously so happy, as just being a dad is like, it's my whole personality now, unintentionally. It's just
the best thing ever.
It is.
It really is. It really is. Like they will make you, and they change so fast, man. It's
doesn't make any sense.
Dude, my kids back in the day, it get home and daddy, and you're like, all right. And now I get home like, what do you want? I'm just like, they're teenagers. I'm like, hey, do you guys want to hang out and go do this? And they're like, no. I'm like, all right. And my youngest daughter's birthday is actually on Monday.
Oh, happy early birthday. Nice.
Yeah, so we're going out to see BTR, I think it is. Some boy band from like mid 2000s or something like that.
BTR.
I'm not. Yeah, it's called BTR. Hold on,
not the Backstreet Boys.
No, not the Backstreet Boys. I don't know what it is.
It sounds familiar. I think I know what you're talking about.
It's a stadium concert, or not stadium. It's at the National Credit Union, whatever, amphitheater, whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
Nice,
so my daughter's like, oh, that's what I want for my birthday. I want you and my sister to go. Yeah. I try to keep my daughter's names and stuff off social media just because,
it's a good call.
But they, she was like, that's what I want for my birthday. I want to go to that concert with you and my sister. So we're doing that Saturday. So
that'll be great. Well, I mean, the fact that she even invited you is huge.
She could have been like, hey, Dad, will you drop me and my 2 friends off? Right. And
pay for everything.
And instead she's like, Dad, do you want to go do this with me? And hey, there we go.
That's awesome.
But it's one of those like, she like I love anime. It's I have a big anime tattoo. Nice. and my daughter loves anime, and so cool. Me and her, that's something we bond over, which is awesome. My other daughter loves video games. I obviously play video games. I have all the stuff for it.
Smart, nice.
And so I'm trying to get them into little hobbies that I enjoy as well as them. That way we can bond over that stuff. And
that's cool.
I think that's the biggest thing, is finding a way to bond with your kid, because they're going to have so many different interests,
Yeah. Especially, I mean, it changes so much, right? Like it's hard to keep up with all that stuff. And then one thing that I'm super curious when I talk to girl dads specifically, because we got a big responsibility, us girl dads.
Oh yeah.
Big responsibility. And where are you at in terms, because I know you mentioned not having your kid's name on social media, which is a good move, but where are you at in terms of like AI and everything that's going? Because I don't know if you follow any of that. Is that
Dude, it's terrifying.
It's scary,
It scares
man.
the living shit out of me.
It's scary.
And it's like, I think there are some amazing applications for it. Don't get me wrong. But the Terminator movies were made for a reason. And like we it's the same thing. It's like the doctors are like, oh, we're bringing back the woolly mammoth. I'm like, dude, there's like 7 movies. Why we shouldn't do this? Like, how many Terminators are there now?
That's right.
Skynet was not nice. All right.
Oh yeah, dude. Like the things going on with AI right now, where it's like, have you seen these models that there was this company that tested 5 different ChatGPT and the Meta one, like it tested all these different AI models and ended up telling the AI, hey, we're going to shut you down tomorrow at midnight. We need you to start getting your ducks in a row, yada, yada, yada. And they followed the coding of the AI, and the AI was trying to communicate with another server saying, I'm going to get deleted soon. I need to copy everything to this server. So it was literally aware that it was going to get deleted. And it's changed.
That's terrifying.
I even think Bill Maher had the guy that did the study on it. And then it was funny because Bill Maher, he's listening to this thing in awe, right? And there's a clip I'm sure you can find online, but he goes, he tells his story and the guy's like, we never saw this coming. And Bill Maher's like, never saw. He's like, every sci-fi movie since 1975 has prepared us for this moment. There's a clip of
Terminator, bro. Like, we didn't see this coming. One of the biggest blockbuster movies of all time, The Terminator.
Yeah,
with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have not like what
is this? Oh yeah, dude. Oh.
AI has again, it has great applications, but they need to limit it. There needs to be limitations, I think, because there was a school teacher that took his kids' faces and put them on, like naked bodies and things with AI.
I did hear stuff like that,
and it's like stuff like that. Like, why are we even creating something that is capable of doing that?
Yeah,
and it's
there needs to be some sort of regulation or something to it.
Yeah, and it's scary. And people who don't understand why it's scary, they should definitely go and research a little bit because it's,
Well, and then, as a parent, this is where I struggle, right? Because obviously my whole business is content. So that's, like before I used to do a lot of video with my daughter just because I didn't even think about it. Now it's more like back of the head, side of the head with her hat on. Like I don't, put her face. But then I also like in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, so 2 things are going to happen. Either A, someone is a prick and a sicko that takes information off the internet and creates these new things. What does he or she do with that? I don't know. I'm sure it's disgusting, but at the same time, is it affecting physically my child? No. If I find this person, will I slit their throat? Most likely, yes. But
absolutely.
How is it affecting us on a daily? And the answer is not a lot, if any, right? Like you probably wouldn't even know. But then I also think, well, here's what's also scary is I could be taking my kid to the park and some jabroni fucking takes a picture of her and does the same thing. So then I struggle with, is it really worth?
Do I take her to the park?
Right, literally, yeah.
Do I take her to the park, or
like, is it worth stressing out about all this stuff? Because similar to climate change and veganism and all these things that we think are really dangerous to us because there's a lot of documentaries and there's like, when you boil it down, it's really not. It's not good, but it's not like climate change isn't going to kill you tomorrow. Like we don't need to freak out so much about it. And I think a lot of people have so many things to worry about. It's almost like makes you think, is the AI thing really that terrifying? Or is it something that a lot of people are taking advantage of to get some headlines?
I mean, anything that's computer controlled at this point is scary. I mean, I just watched a video. I don't know. You probably saw it. It was a Ford Mustang EV, and it was driving down the side of the road, and its steering wheel locked up. And he's going down on the divider, and he's sitting there praying. He's like, "Oh my God!" Like, and all of a sudden the divider ends. He goes out and gets hit, and that that's a computer controlled thing, which they, I don't know if those things have AI in them. I'm assuming, the Teslas, I think, have AI in them.
Yeah.
Right?
I got a Tesla.
So I'm assuming that those have the same thing, and the computer locked this guy's steering wheel up, and it's like it makes you want to go back to analog a little bit,
For sure. Yeah.
Like,
and I think with everything, right? Like it really makes you appreciate, me being a 90s kid, it really makes you appreciate how good we had it. I mean,
we're out until the sun went down.
Oh, and then afterwards,
my parents.
And then afterwards,
I would get home. My
Blockbuster
parents would have a phone call. Right. My parents would get a phone call, be like, "Hey, your kid's down here at like this gas station. Do you know where your kid is?" Right. And I get home at like 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a call from such and such that you were here. I'm like,
yeah.
And that's what it used to be like in the 90s. And then, like you said, Blockbuster was the greatest.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
I'm sad our kids will never experience that.
I know. And then, if you really want to get like conspiracy theory about it. Conspiratorial, yeah. If you really want to get wild about it, like I really think about, because humans have been humans for thousands of years. Like we've always been the same. We've evolved to what we are today. And in the 90s, it's not like people were smarter. It's not like there was there was less pedophiles. It's because I think, this is just me being crazy, but whatever we have been feeding this generation, the 80s and the 90s kids, they have grown to become questioning their gender, psychotic, mass shooters. They're on depressions. Like they're on all these antidepressants, and like, this is the medication and the food that's creating shittier humans? Possibly.
Or is it social media?
Or a combination of both.
Yeah.
It's like,
because
it makes me
we had very little
of that.
We had very little of that stuff in the 90s. Like, yes, there was cross-dresser. I mean, if you remember the scene from Crocodile Dundee Goes to New York.
Of course.
And he's like, oh, you're a man. Like, one of the funniest scenes in a movie. So they've been around for a long time. Okay, cool. But now it's so apparent online, and they get so many followers, right?
Yeah.
All these people are following that type of person.
It's addicting.
And then the kids go, oh, well, if I'm that, and I make a social media page, then I'm going to get all these followers. So it's a vicious cycle of feeding on itself. It's like I think that's a big part of it. And again, I think it's a big part of the nutrition that we're feeding our kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. And I think people need to start really taking things seriously.
Growing some veggies in the backyard,
Yeah, dude. Because if the pandemic taught us anything,
buy a quarter beef from a farm.
Yeah. That's the easy way to do it. Yeah. No, I agree, man. Yeah. It's well, listen, dude, it was good talking. I can't believe we're over an hour already. So
are we really?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on again. I'm sure we could talk a lot more about different shit. But
let's do it, man. Anytime.
But this was good, man. One more time, leave everyone your social medias, and for everyone watching, I'm gonna leave that in the description below. But yeah, where can they find you?
Sure. The Girl Dad Official on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And then he's gonna push me to make a YouTube.
That's right. Do that when you get off the phone with me, all right, buddy? All right. James, thanks again, man. Appreciate the time, brother.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it, man.
All right, dude. Talk soon.